Potter and the Chamber of Secret any percent race between Roshla and Cathal. Alright, good luck guys and take it away.
Hello everybody! Here are the two Harry Potter speedrunners again. After Harry Potter 4 co-op, we are going to do Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So this time we are going to race against each other and...
A bit less friendly.
Yeah, we are going to be mean to each other. So I think I'm ready, you're ready.
As ready as I'll ever be.
So can I have a countdown please?
3, 2.
So basically we start already with the best feature in this game, which is skipping cutscenes. Like, it saves so much. Like, there's even a cutscene percent of this game and it takes like at least an hour longer. So here we performed our first brightness boost, which is actually, it sounds really easy. We just change the brightness while Harry is in a climbing animation and then he boosts up. The technical thing of it is actually that we, when we change the brightness, we flush the whole engine. And when it actually flushes the whole engine, it means that if it renews the whole engine and Harry is in a climb animation, it boosts up. That's the technical version of basically the boost. And it will break the game a lot.
It actually does not even change the brightness. That's the funny part.
Yeah, like it's still the same brightness as before. And can you imagine how awful it would be if the brightness, if it would actually change the brightness?
That would be horrible.
Because then at some point, oh, I got stuck in the wall. Because then at some point your game is really dark and the next moment your game is just really bright. So that would be really awful, but it's a good thing that it doesn't work, and it might work in the if you play it in full screen, because we have actually seen that it's only oh, that's too high, so I take, that's not the amount of damage that I want to do. So we basically skipped here a Nick cutscene, which it tells us about a secret room if you have all gold cards, but we are not going to collect cards at all. But if we skip the cutscene, Nick will be there for the rest of the run and he won't move at all. The cutscene is gone after this point actually. So we always say hi Nick when we walk past him. So here we are going to do some DDR.
It's actually funny because the strats of this challenge changed a while back. We used to never do this challenge. There's a house point system in this game. For each thing you do correctly, you get house points. And after the first challenge, you always go into the bean bonus room, basically. The team with the highest house points goes into the bean bonus room, but being there actually wastes time. But since you always go in the bean bonus room in the first round, we actually prefer to have as little points as possible. That's why we never used to do this and then just grab the end star of the level and complete it. But it was still very, very RNG heavy. Lately, the community has found a new skip in which we actually can do this, but we do not have to collect the end star. So that always leaves us with either best or second best RNG.
Yeah, basically it means that we are not going to get house points out of this level, which means that we would have like 30 house points. But the game, like Kaetel said, it forces you to go into the bean bonus room. Even if you have 0 house points, you get to go into the bean bonus room. And before it was like for every spell learning that you did, you would spend 5 extra seconds in the beam bonus room. So that would be very slow. But and actually doing the arrow keys is actually 6 seconds faster than not doing them. So it wasn't too bad actually. Like if the time was faster that much, then we would have done even the arrow keys even with the strat before. But as Kaito also told, we found that strat like a month ago.
Something along those lines.
So
then again, you also probably see a difference between me and Rushla when it comes to casting spells. I actually use a technique that's called pause casting, in which I quickly go into the menu and out of the menu in order to reset the casting animation, which allows me to cast faster, basically.
Yeah, Victor Sempra is, I think, at this point, one of the most solid challenges. It's also the longest challenge by really a lot.
Yeah, like most other challenges, we just go in and leave.
So actually those switches that I just hit, they are really hard to hit from time to time. So it's actually kind of decent that we got those. And here is actually a thing that, like, even something that you can do if you're playing this game casually. Basically, you can skip the whole chasm with just jumping over it. And nice choker frog there, because I took some damage in the grand staircase, which can be bad later. So here we are coming up to the tower, and this is where the end challenge star is. Normally the only trigger of...
Okay, so I basically just got a soft lock, which is hilarious. Both crabs are in, but my gates are not opening, so I'll have to quit out and start again.
And
that's why we grab save books.
That's why we grab save books, yeah. So, as you could see in my game, I just went up the tower and walked somewhere and I finished the level. That's because the developers of this game most of the time put... ooh, nice, I got best RNG. But yeah, they put... Normally they put most of the triggers just outside of the level so that you can't reach it. But they never thought that we were able to get up that tower and hit that trigger. So they put it there, and that way we can actually hit the trigger, and that way we can actually finish the level without getting the house points, because for some reason the trigger of the house points is only in the end star, which is a really big star. We will collect 2 of the end stars actually, instead of 4. And this is Quidditch, and for the longest time I thought this is just an auto-scroller where you can't lose time on. But basically you have, I believe, 3 different patterns, and on at least one of them, the chances of getting hit by a bludger is... I killed her too early, so she will come back. But you can get hit to a bludger, which loses you actually 5 seconds. She's back, so I need to knock her out again, unfortunately. But that's fine.
Second best RNG.
Oh.
And I also died again in Rictus Sempra, so yay.
Yeah, getting second best RNG is actually 10 seconds slower than best RNG. So actually before this race we were actually hoping that we would get at least the same kind of RNG. So, or either both best RNG or both second best.
Then again, that soft lock did really not cooperate.
Yeah, true. So at this point, I'm in the class and I learned how to make a potion. This was actually one of the places where where you would softlock before, because we would play this game at 120 FPS. It had some really neat things, and basically because we played it at such a high FPS, the chances were really high that you would play 2 cutscenes at the same time, and this game can't handle 2 cutscenes at the same time. Hi Nick! Always say hi to Nick, otherwise your run is over basically.
I never
Like,
say hi to Nick. That's
you
probably why I soft
No,
locked.
you will get past Nick for the first time soon.
I know, but I never ever say hi to Nick.
Ah, that's probably
That's
the
why
reason.
yeah.
So while I'm, this is actually one of the most scariest spell learning, because this game has some fake inputs. It likes to put a wrong input instead of the correct arrow key. And that happens randomly. We have no idea why it happens, or at least I think we don't. But at least, yeah, it basically means that we fail a spell learning because of fake inputs. If I would get it in the first round, it would actually be the best, because that's the fastest, because then I will just keep failing them and then just hoping on, well, I don't have to hope anymore. Like after this, basically I need to keep continuing doing the arrow keys, and basically when you get at least 1 fake input, the chances of a second fake input, it's much higher than before. So we just really pray for no fake inputs.
Well done, Harry. You've advanced to the next level of the lesson. 10 points to
So,
Gryffindor.
Kaito, how did you got actually in this game?
I've played it as a kid mostly.
But actually in speedrunning it?
Basically, I've been watching a lot of speedruns, and I wanted to run something myself. And
You've completed all of the necessary
I actually wanted to pick up a
exercises.
game that was very
15 points to
nostalgia heavy for
Gryffindor.
me, and that would be both either of the first or the second Harry Potter game, since I've played them a lot when I was a kid. And since I already knew you, and you were speedrunning it, it was easy to start. He just explained the basics, and I was good to go.
So here I'm doing a kind of precise setup, but my mouse keeps moving around, so now it didn't, I think. Because we are just going to... that jump wasn't correctly.
Skirt skip.
Yep, skirt skip. I want
Okay,
to...
so basically what he's doing there is there's like a tiny pixel he can stand on, and by standing in the right angle and jumping, you can actually stand on that pixel, jump onto that ledge in front, and then drop straight to the end star, which prevents you from having to do the entire level.
Yeah, but the angle is kind of precise.
It's
I got it.
Oh, you got it. Congrats.
And here we are going to collect our first end star, and we are basically at the end of the level. It skips 2-3 minutes. It's a decently long challenge.
So far, no fake inputs for me.
That's
Only third round left to go.
so I'm now going to Bicorn, which is also called in the game the Dungeon Quest. That's how it's actually called.
Bicorn is one of the most decently made levels, actually.
Yeah. Basically, this is one of the levels that we can't break at all. In any way that we know for now, we just... Yeah, we can't skip it, basically.
Okay, I'm gonna try skirt skip now.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
I just took the Lumos, which...
First try.
Nice. People can clap for that.
I even got a gold split there. Come on.
So yeah, Bicorn, like we kind of know how, like we can leave this challenge. There's a way of it. We will show it later how to leave levels without actually doing them.
But we need to collect the item, right?
Yeah, in this level, it's basically, it forces you to collect the item in the end. I'm not sure about Boomslang actually, but
same. It's exactly the same.
Okay.
We need the item in order to change the game state.
Okay. I haven't even tried. I tried it in this level and it didn't work, and I was really sad.
So this game mostly works with game states. Most levels, when you enter the level, it actually changes the game state already to the next game state. But in these levels where you need to collect an item, it only changes the game state once you've collected the item. So if there's a level we do not need to collect an item, we can use a certain kind of warp we will show you later on in the run. And that warp actually allows us to instantly warp out of the level. But the game is like, hey, you've entered the level, so you must have completed the level. And yeah, that's game states, real quick.
And I failed the maze skip.
Oh, you did?
Yep. It's fine. Gives you time to recover from that.
I really enjoy like the skip they use, the name of the skip they use there in, I think it's Hundo?
Yeah, in Hundo. It's called Better Than Dry Storage number, I don't know.
Are we at 6 now?
I really don't know how many dry storages we have.
Why actually dry storage? I mean, as somebody who does not run Hundo, I'm fairly confused.
I don't like this pattern of this pixie at this point. It will try to bite me, but I evaded it fairly. So that was first try wheel skip. Normally you need to do some platforming around with spinning. I don't like this ledge grab at all. I'm fine with this ledge grab now. I want this Choco Frog actually.
What you also see us doing while we're mid-air is we're spamming our click button, which is our mouse click, which is actually aiming. And what that does is generally you have a slower movement speed while mid-air, except for when you're casting. It was like 5 units slower mid-air than walking, if I'm correct?
Yeah, jumping is just basically slow, so...
Yeah, but when you cast, it actually speeds up your jumping, and as a result of that, you can jump further distances. What we do here is wheel skip. Normally, like if you would play this casually, you would activate those wheels, they would start turning, and you would use those. But since we actually can spam the click to jump further and use certain ledges, we can pass those wheels without actually activating them.
Yeah, it extends a little bit of the jump area and it puts you just faster on the ground. So here I'm going to duel Malfoy and hopefully a 2. Oh god. He got better. Come on, Malfoy.
Another gold split.
Nice.
I mean, I do have to add, those are the gold splits after the D-Rust. But still.
A gold split is a gold split. So, are you going to get 2 hits Malfoy immediately?
Malfoy. I really hope so.
I needed a few.
You needed a few?
Yeah, I don't know why. I started messing it up yesterday, and I also messed it up today.
2-hit Malfoy is like pretty nice. Let's see. What tends to be my bottleneck here is that I accidentally click my other mouse button.
See the pointer?
2-hit Malfoy.
So basically, I'm not going to do these arrow keys because, again, you have the chance of getting a fake input, and actually doing the arrow keys here only saves 1 second. So I'm just going to sit, relax here, and I think the host can maybe tell us something.
Sure, I could tell you something. Well, first of all, we've got an anonymous donation for €2 saying we collect stars in this game. Is this a Mario run?
Yep.
Exactly. And I could also, while you're here, tell you a little bit about who we are. We are the Benelux Speedrunner Gathering. We organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. We're currently streaming our annual event live from Hotel Asteria in Venray, the Netherlands. We're raising money for the Dutch Cancer Society, which is a nationwide organization committed to fighting cancer while aiming for more cure and a higher quality of life for those already battling the disease. All of your donations will go to the Dutch Cancer Society. Want me to go on for a little bit?
No, because something really important will happen pretty soon.
The work we talked about
yeah,
earlier.
basically, we can get, for some reason, we can get to Quidditch, which basically wipes us out of the level. And if the save states already changes, it's
Yeah.
it
So normally you're not allowed to go out of the classroom into Quidditch, but if you kind of manipulate the menu by opening the map and such, you can trick the game that you're actually not in the class and you can warp to Quidditch.
Yeah, well, you said manipulating. No, as you can see, it's actually faster to die, but Malfoy doesn't do that much damage, and there's only one good pattern on dying, so it's actually faster to just let him grab the snitch. It's for if you can't die really fast to him. But you said we manipulate. We actually store the menu with F4 because that's a developer editing button which they left in the game. I don't know why, but because of that, we can actually have the menu stored. And when we store the menu, for some reason, we get to click to the Quidditch match, which you normally can't do. So that way, even it made, when we found that, it made 100% really interesting, because we have to do all 6 Quidditch matches in 100%, and yeah, it's just made it really interesting in when we are going to when are we going to do which Quidditch match, etc. I think okay, I'm still made it. This is basically one of the shortest levels, if clipping wants me to work.
Yeah, that's a pretty finicky jump there.
Yeah, it's like, it depends kind of on angle and on inputs, and
I generally can get it like second or third try.
same, but
But it's a marathon, so...
yeah, so it just decides to not do it at all.
Oh, that sucks. I am like catching up though.
Yeah. Come on, Harry. Get on there. Wow. I normally don't have this much trouble with it.
This never happened before.
Come on.
I got it. First try. Yeah, another gold split.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, so next up for me is about the most difficult skip in the entire game, which is Dumbledore Skip. As you may have noticed, we are able to skip almost all cutscenes, but there is one cutscene which is about 2.5 minutes that we just can't skip. So we needed to find a way around that. Logically, you want to avoid the trigger that actually activates the cutscene. So in order to do that, we need to do a bit of platforming, but it's actually very tricky and precise. Heading to the grand staircase here. And what I actually need to do is get on the ledge of the stair and then jump in exactly the right time in order to avoid the ledge where Nick's body is laying.
I could even skip this level. Nice. I can even skip this level because I have a save file for the next part, but why is this not working? This
since we were going to be mean, go ahead, keep on trying.
I think for marathon safeties, I'm going to the different save file.
Yeah.
Which is just before Dumbledore Skip. Oh wait, then we don't have it for the incentive. Then it will work all fine. So I'm here at Dumbledore Skip as well. I'm actually going to make a save state here because then I might be then I've stored this part already. So
Yeah.
for the incentive, I can actually make it. So also first try Dumbledore Skip.
Nice. Congrats.
Sorry for basically the cheating part, but otherwise it wasn't working and I didn't want to get stuck there for... Why am I going there? Of course I know this game.
I really know what I'm doing. I'm like trying to die here, but the Hufflepuff Seeker is not that aggressive.
Yeah, Hufflepuffs aren't that aggressive.
Okay, this is actually a horrible Quidditch. I died at 100 points.
Ooh,
That's bad.
That's really...
Okay, so this level I skip basically by Quidditch warping, and the next level I will also skip by Quidditch warping.
Yeah, basically these were two really interesting levels in my opinion.
They were really fun in the casual playthrough, and I'm kind of sad that we found a way around it because I really enjoy them.
Well, there's a new category for it, which is called
Warpless, I know.
Oh boy, am I... Come on. I died at 70, that's also actually...
It's better than 100.
True.
It's not horrible. I mean, it's not the preferred,
Yeah,
but it's not horrible.
true. So yeah, basically in the next part we are going to do basically the same. So if the host has anything to tell us, go ahead. It's your... this is the best time.
Sure. We just spoke of donations. By donating to the charity, you'll be eligible for amazing sponsored prizes by Nintendo Core. Any donation will get you a chance for one of these prizes for today, and we also give a 3 times bigger. We'll also give you a 3 times bigger chance for the grand prize. For more information about the grand prizes, you can follow the following link, which I'll post in chat right now. There we go. We'd also like to thank Nintendo Core for sponsoring the event, for sponsoring the prizes. Nintendo Core is an online store that sells Nintendo goodies and all sort of other merch. Be sure to check them out at nintendocore.org. Do I have more time?
Yes.
Yes.
Basically until after Spongify, I guess. Like just take all the time that you need.
Sure. All right, then I'd also like to plug a few incentives for the upcoming run. We've got 2 incentives right now, which are the language selection, which is currently between English and Japanese, with English in a pretty big lead right now. It's pretty sizable. But something that does not have a very big lead is the runner choice for the final level for the All Stories Relay for Sonic Adventure 2. That one is currently, your everyday speedrunner is in the lead with only €1, so that's very snipeable. If you want Frosty to run that last level, I'd say donate a few. It's very open and very easy to take.
So, good thing that you just stopped, because we are getting the best voice line in the game. We are get to hear Goyle and just hear his voice. It's awful.
I accidentally knocked out the Ravenclaw Seeker.
So, Goyle's lines are... his voice is just great. So, let's hope that I don't knock out the Ravenclaw, which is actually your house, if I'm correct.
Yep, very much so. Okay, so I'm heading on to the final challenge, which will be Spongify. Once again, heading to the ground staircase, using a brightness boost to get to the top floor. And then into the final challenge, which for once we are not going to warp out of.
No, because Basically, we can warp out of almost every challenge. We can't skip out of, we can't warp out of Victor Sempra because Quidditch isn't open in that level yet. And in Scourge and Spongify, it's actually faster to just do the challenge than actually warp out. And in, oh boy.
So we actually use that kind of a kind of tactic here, because when you use a Spongify tile, a certain state is stored. It's like a flying mid-air state, so it does not matter from which height you drop, you will not get damage. And we kind of use it here. We boost up like crazy and then drop like 3 floors.
And this is actually the safest challenge spell learning on fake inputs, because as far as I know, it's impossible to get fake inputs on this.
Yeah, the further you progress in the game, the less likely you are to get fake inputs.
Yeah.
That being said, I haven't had any fake inputs yet, but I
Same.
don't want to jinx it.
Well, I had a terrible boom slang. I really don't know what happened there.
It's okay. It makes up for the soft lock I had in Victor Sempra.
Yeah. And we get we keep getting a close race.
Yeah.
So by looking at it, probably Chamber is going to decide.
Snake mostly.
Snake probably, yeah. But yeah, Spongify, the tiles of Spongify are actually really interesting. And basically, the way we skip this challenge is because of the way they made Spongify tiles. Because Spongify tiles, they put you really high because you bump, well, you boink from them, I would say it that way.
You boink from them.
You boink from them. Which you are at such a height that you should actually take falling damage. So they actually prevented you from taking falling damage with a Spongify tile. And if you get into a ledge grab after using a Spongify tile, you actually store the not taking damage from... Ooh, nice, I got the Spongify tile in the cutscene, before the cutscene. But basically, this only, as you can see, we grab on and we just fall down and we basically skip the whole challenge. Because we don't take falling damage, because we stored the Spongify tile of not taking falling damage. Otherwise, that skip wouldn't be possible in most ways. There is a way I think then would be possible, which is the way of getting stuck into the wall, but that's actually the slower version. It's way faster to fall immediately on the platform with the last star. So now we don't take the stairs anymore, so we just use the Spongify tile. And actually a funny part about that we did Dumbledore Skip, there was another nick there. That means that at this point in the game there are 2 nicks stuck at the same point in the game. And here there was always it was kind of cutscene where you could move around in. But because of Quidditch warping, we are actually able to skip it, but it's actually only faster if you can die really quick in this fight. So
I died really quick, 10,
nice.
10 to 30.
That's really good.
I know. I'm happy. Okay, so right now I'm outside. Next up we need to go to the forest, but it's still day. So in order to turn it back into night, we just need to enter the castle and then run back out again.
Yeah. Basically interesting, this next part in the dark is actually the same outside map as before, but then in a different game state, which opens the door to Hagrid and everything. Interesting to know is that we can actually get already to the forest on the first night, but we don't know any of the new spells at that point. So we basically softlock us us at that point. So at this point, the world record is 33 minutes, but if we could skip basically the whole part of the game, it would be...
It will be like 5 minutes?
No.
Okay, a bit more, 10.
10, because we need to do forest and chamber.
Fair enough.
So, and basically we have tried to find ways to get the spells in a different game, but we haven't succeeded, and I think nobody is looking for it at the moment.
No.
Which is actually really sad. And talking about early things, the trigger for the last level already exists. And if you are in debug mode, you have already access to it. But again, we don't know have the spells. And come on, Sugarfuck.
I actually missed bridge skip here.
I always wait for these plans, because I really like having full health here. I'm never going for the completely bridge skip here. And actually something funny, you can walk through this web, but all the other webs you can't walk through. Which is... basically, those webs are the first soft lock that we found of not being able to finish, because we can't get through these webs.
So these creatures, they actually used to terrify me like so much when I played this game as a kid.
I was most of the time just scared of beefs.
Beefs, really?
Yep.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, no, no. No, no, no.
What's happening?
Basically, I didn't stun. Well, I stunned the last spider a little bit late.
Oh.
I'm grabbing one extra of these.
Yeah, I grabbed 2 extra of the big Wiggentree
No,
bark.
no, 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 no.
Okay, so now I go into a fight, which is the spider fight, Aragog, which is funnily known in our community as a very quiet spider.
Oh, I forgot to cut that. Oh boy. Yeah, you will hear Aragog pretty soon on my side, but he's not too loud, so please lower your volumes.
Please do.
Or no, raise your volumes, because he's low. And I'm really looking to audio guy. So basically, Aragog, for some reason, they really messed up with his audio. Like, it doesn't really matter how low you put it, he will he will always be loud.
And then there's still the difference between you and me. You do not use podcasting. I do. And as a result of that, he will constantly be making that damage noise, like spamming.
Yeah, basically, it's basically almost a set fight. And you can, like, he has 2 different attacks, I believe. Well, 3 different attacks. He has 2 with which why did I got hit there?
He can dash at you and he can spit at you mostly.
Yeah.
I'm heading into chamber now.
Yeah, I'm going pretty soon into chamber, but I don't like my health at the moment.
Okay. So
I'm going to drink my current. I'm going to make 3 potions then in chamber, just out of safety.
I'll use safety strats as well and make extra potions, just because Snake can sometimes be a pain in the ass, so to say.
And I got hit by the spiders, and I got hit by Aragog by me not moving correctly. We are going to see how this is going to work out. I shouldn't be taking any damage before entering chamber. So actually, here again, an example of having no falling damage. Normally you are supposed to take the elevator, but if we do just with the spongified tile, we can just fall down, and that's just a little bit faster. So these things are falling down, these doors are falling down, they just insta-kill you, but if you just walk correctly, you can just move straight through them and don't need to wait. I'm going to take this a little bit more safely. Okay, nice.
I just got the formerly Pixie Proxy room, like, first try.
Nice. That's really annoying. This is probably one of the most annoying. Nice. I got also first try.
Like in
What?
Glitchless.
Excuse me.
Where have you ended up?
On a strange, scary place. But this was the old way of doing it, and which I got hit.
Did you do old Pixie Proxy?
Well, no. But basically cutting the rope, that's the way we used to do it before we found boosting.
Okay, so this is Boulder. It looks very dangerous. It looks like you can fall. Technically, just keep your inputs forward and you just can't die.
Are you going for the wall walk?
The wall walk where?
Just before chamber.
No.
Just go for it.
No, safe strats.
I'm going for it.
I know.
Because I
am grabbing extra ingredients for a few extra potions, just because safe strats. So there is actually a way you get on this swing beforehand and then boost up a bit there so you don't have to wait for another cycle of the swing. But
I actually found a new setup for it last week or so, or 2 weeks ago.
yeah. But it is fairly dangerous, so to say. I mean, you can still die there and get stuck. So since this is a marathon, I chose not to. I'd rather take the time loss and be sure that I can decently finish this run.
I'm only going to attempt it once. So
I've got 4 potions for Snake now.
Nice. So basically, what is about platforms in here? You don't get crushed by it, and I got it actually. That's really a hard wall walk, but the platform doesn't crush you, so it goes just through Harry while you try to boost up, and that way you can actually do it without dying. So I will also have 4 potions going into Basilisk fights. But
So this actually is the final boss fight?
Yeah. It's really interesting because the Basilisk can only be dying in
And like the first thing I opened.
yeah. Basically, they put only one end trigger for this game on the left sides. So at this in this state, he has 2 different attacks, which is biting and spewing green purple glue.
Tech, get ready. Time is fairly close for me.
GG.
I'm done with Snake now. I'm just heading into the final cutscene. Time is as soon as I enter the same area where I dueled Malfoy. Just a great haul.
But when you see the loading screen.
When I see the loading screen. So that would be time.
As I said, my streak of losing in all 3 Harry Potter games is continuing at this point. So one more hit, and then I will just kill him in this hole.
I think that without my soft lock and such, I would have been pretty close to actual
I
PB.
think if I didn't got stuck, and you didn't got the soft lock, it would have been a really close race. So that's kinda unfortunate, but so time is also coming up when you see the loading screen, and that's time. And because we are kinda really underestimate, I first want to show you, like basically look at these house points. We are far behind everyone. But let's see who's going to win, and then I'm going to do the McGonagall incentive.
Yeah, so we could do both. We both could do the incentive, but since it's kind of his trademark thing to do in marathons, I'll just have him do it.
Think we'll take it again this year? After you and Harry saved Hogwarts, I should think so.
So who's going to win?
Ravenclaw.
That's her house.
I already know. I already know.
In third place, Hufflepuff.
Yay, Hufflepuff!
No.
And now for the second place house.
It'll be you, Gryffindors. You're naturally second best. You won't steal the house cup from Slytherin like you did last year.
After barely escaping disqualification, Slytherin.
What?
So totally not rigged, these house cups.
House cup goes to Gryffindor.
Yes! We did it again!
We rigged it again. So I'm now doing the McGonagall drop, because I made a save state here because of it. Basically, we are back at Dumbledore Skip, and I'm actually going to perform, like basically just look all the time to the right of your screen, because you guys paid for this, and it's amazing.
It is quite hilarious.
Just look to the right.
Oh no!
Bye, McGonagall.
Another attack?
But wait, there will be more.
What's
Did you know
happened?
that Harry actually is an
I don't
acrobatic?
know. I found him like this. Follow me, E. Potter.
So now Harry needs to follow her. And goodbye, Harry!
Backflips!
So basically that only works because normally the stairs has to be there, but because we moved them, basically McGonagall spawns and she drops to the ground immediately. And yeah, because there's no stairs for Harry to walk on, he also drops down. But this was Harry Potter 2 for the PC. These were both our last runs. So I enjoyed it here at BSG. Did you enjoy it?
Definitely.
Good to hear. So I think I'm going to give it back to the host for the next run. So please keep enjoying this great event.
All right. Thank you, Cathal and Rashla, for that magical run. While we're going to be setting up here for the next run, which will be Sonic Adventure 2 by Shadowfrost and Your Everyday Speedrunner, we're going to play some ads for you, and we'll see you right back.